What's up, everyone? Welcome to A Love Like That podcast. I'm your host, Brandon, and this is my lovely co-host,
Jacquelyn.
What's up, baby? How you doing today?
Doing awesome, babe. I'm doing awesome.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Hey, listen, I'm excited to be here once again, as I always am, here to talk about this thing called marriage that we are able to just to get through, but just how we can get through it successfully and together as one cohesive unit. That's what this podcast is about, and I'm just excited for another episode of this. And I do want to say this though. Thank you guys for checking out our last episode, which was part two
Yeah.
of our conversation around transparency. We've gotten a lot of good feedback on that, and I feel like it was needed for a lot of people. Wouldn't you say
It
so?
was. I believe it was needed for a lot of people. And in all transparency, I feel like that's when it really clicked in this process. I was a little nervous about, this whole experience, not the ministry aspect of it and just sharing, what has worked for us and what we know, but just the lights, camera, action, aspect of it. I'm a little more behind the scenes, so I didn't know, but I really, that was me, like I was really able to just say, this is me. So, anyways, I enjoyed the last episode.
Right.
It's my favorite. So.
Great job, paparazzi.
Yeah. I'm proud of myself. Nice, I'm growing.
Yeah, no, you did great. You did great. But listen, if you guys haven't checked out that one, make sure that you check out part two as well as part one. I think both of them, I mean, they're all cohesive, they're all connected. So I mean, I think check that out. Listen, check it out for yourself or for your partner.
Yeah.
Watch it,
Beginning.
watch it
Start
together.
from the beginning if you haven't.
Yeah, for the beginning, yes. Check out all the other
Us
episodes.
on this journey, we have had
Some really good
some
conversations.
couples on, some really good conversations, and we have so much more in store. So I'm excited
Yeah,
about it.
exactly. I am as well. And while we're doing the shameless plugging, make sure that you guys are subscribing to our podcast as well. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube,
Yes.
iTunes, Spotify, all of that in between.
All that. And if you're on Instagram at a love like that underscore.
Yes.
Don't forget the underscore,
Yes.
because if you forget the underscore, you're gonna go to see the pirates.
Oh,
that's that other page.
Well, yeah, no, they have the website. That's what
The website. Okay, they have something.
Yeah.
But the most important part is don't forget the underscore if you're who you're looking for.
Yeah, so that's important there. Okay, now we've gotten all that out the way. Okay. All right, babe. So what's on your mind today?
Well, I thought today, since we are coming off a busy weekend, and this was another monumental weekend in our just marriage and our lives in general. So that anniversary or that monumental event was the birth of our son Jackson. He turned 9 this weekend. So
Yep.
we're parents.
Yeah.
That was the anniversary of the day we became parents. So
yes, it is. I call it your Mother's Day. That's your real Mother's Day.
Did say that.
So shout out to you. Happy Mother's Day to you on that one. That was the real day that you became a mom. So I just had to.
Oh, okay. I forgot it. Actually had to drink.
Exactly. But no, that's the real day that's the day that you became a mother. So you have several Mother's Days. So when our son was born, when our daughter was born. And then obviously, Mother's Day that they have in May as well.
Yes.
But
more holidays for Jackie.
Right, more holidays for Jackie. Right. Jacquelyn gets all the holidays. So of course. No. I have.
We celebrate you for critical part you play.
Exactly. Yes.
And bringing these children into the world, babe. So
no, it's all good. But no, I think just life as a whole. Especially when you're married, when you're married, you're thinking about yourself, and you and your wife, or you and your husband, or who you're married to, and you may think about kids down the road, but once you actually have the kids, it changes everything, everything. And for us, it changed it for the better.
Yeah,
I mean, easily for the better,
it
you know.
is. It
Just from
is.
every, from every aspect to just, how I love my family to how I look at life to how I want to be a better husband for my wife in order to be a better father for my children. It, the children aspect or equation being put into there really changed the trajectory of our marriage for the better.
Yeah.
And I think that was important. So let me ask you this. How did you feel about, marriage before getting married, being married, and then after children? What did it look like to you?
Okay, so before getting married, I mean, I think we look at marriage as just the marriages we've seen or the marriages we've seen and like what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I feel like it's little bits and pieces of, you know, my parents, to, we always talk about we love a different world.
Right.
And just the saga of Dwayne and Whitley,
Yep.
and just we love it. So just little pieces of just all the great love stories is what you think,
Mm-hmm.
kind of prior to um going into marriage. And then once we got in it, we've talked about the first year was definitely a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's we're really in it. We're really coming home
Yep.
to each other every day.
We married.
Right, exactly. This
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
after all of the planning is over and the honeymoon is over, because we had a great time.
Yes. After the wedding
Um,
was over, the marriage was still
right.
there.
And we're still here, and it's like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
got to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of
A lot of growing.
growing to do, definitely in our first year, and just kind of learning what our marriage would look like and how that would take shape. So I think that little process, that time frame, is what we got to after the marriage,
Mm-hmm.
during the marriage, the middle
Mm-hmm.
part, before we had kids. Um, and then Jackson, how far in? It was like a year and 8 months, a year,
Yeah, we were probably about a year and a half in.
year and a half in. So it wasn't, that's what I mean by that small time
Mm-hmm.
period, because we were able to get that time in and really kind of get to know each other. But yeah, going into year two, we're looking at a whole new world. And then
Yep.
after having kids, it's like, wow, we did that. Like, we just being so enamored with them and looking at them like, we did that.
Yeah,
Like,
we did that.
we
Yes.
did that. And as your children, get older and have their own personalities, you start to kind of see, like, and laugh, like, they're becoming those little
Yep.
versions of you,
But like that's you, babe.
Yeah,
Oh, that's me all day.
we see it.
Yeah.
We see it. We see it. And I mean, parenthood is an experience like none other,
Yeah,
you know.
and I'll say it's an experience like no other, but it's an experience that is great to share when you have your spouse with you to really help you navigate that thing,
Yeah.
as a parent. Um, I will say that um, you know it makes you appreciate just the little things. It
Hmm.
makes you appreciate the little things, and then as the kids get older, it makes you appreciate time to yourself
Oh,
as they
for
get
sure.
older.
Yeah.
You appreciate time to yourself because after you go through the cutesy little stage and there's goo goo gaga and all that other stuff, then it gets to the real fun, and the real fun is amazing. It's the most
Yeah.
rewarding job I could have ever
Absolutely.
had,
Yeah.
bar none. There
Yes.
was nothing better than
Yes.
being a father for me. I take that, I wear that badge proudly. I really honestly do.
Yes. Yes.
Um, it is the most rewarding, and at the same time, it is the most challenging.
Yeah.
Because it forces you to deal with yourself because that used to be you. Um,
Yeah. Yourself
yeah,
in form. It makes you see yourself.
it does, and it's looking in a mirror. And it's like how do I if you ever want to know what it's like to go back in time and trying to tell the younger self what to do and trying to get them to go your younger self to go into the right direction. That's what parenting is,
Yeah.
because it's really the younger
The
you.
future,
It's really the younger
it's
you, and
yeah,
you're trying to
yeah.
guide them, say this is what you need to look out for. But then at the same time, though, you have to understand that they're their own people, and
Exactly.
that's the balance that you have to have. But like I said, it's the most rewarding. But at the same time, though, it makes you appreciate that time to yourself. At least to yourself, or at least with you, with your spouse.
Yeah.
So I enjoy time, by myself. But I also enjoy time with my wife, and what we have worked on is trying to make sure we find that balance within our marriage, because it's real easy to get caught up in daddy mode.
Yeah.
It's real easy to get caught
Absolutely.
up in mommy
Mommy
mode.
mode.
And we have both been guilty of that at times, where sometimes it's like, okay, hey, I'm over here, or hey,
Yeah.
babe, I'm over here, and we're so
Hmm.
caught up in the children. But I would say for the most part that we really do a good job. We've done a good job with that. So what would you say would be the catalyst for us really, and it was really you. Let me say that. You were the one that said, we need to make sure that we don't forget us. And I heard it, I understood it, and I said, I really appreciate that. But what was it for you? What was the catalyst that made you say, for you saying or wanting to make sure that we really emphasize us at all times?
Just watering the knowing that we are the foundation, knowing that, like, earlier when I said, like, we did that together. So before we had kids, we were Brandon and Jacquelyn,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't so far in that, we even, had to turn towards that parenthood journey. So I understand that, in that, we, Brandon and Jacqueline, still have growing to do, you know, um, as parents, but as individuals. And really just wanting to water that foundation, wanting to make sure that we're good. Because if we're good, then everybody's good. Like,
Yeah.
it's a great situation for everybody. But if we're at odds all the time, then, our children start to feel that and, notice that and things of that sort.
Children do sense that.
Yeah, children definitely sense that. And, just really, I know there have been a lot of marriages that have gone 20, 25 years, and then they just go their separate ways. And people are like, whoa, you know, well, after that long, like, what happened? I've talked to several people who have said the kids, like, you should be
Mm.
seeing the kids left. That's what happened, essentially. The kids left. And so they were focused on their kids,
They didn't know their spouse.
exactly, caught up in the activities and, everything that comes with, like, being a parent, that they essentially weren't checking in on each other. And so many years had gone by and so many phases of life had gone by. Like, and you look up and this is a totally different person than the person that you married, because
Mm.
for these 18 years, I was focused on only my kids. So now we're trying to reconnect, or I'm trying to figure out who you are at this point in life. And I might not necessarily like that person, or whatever the case is. Or, yeah, like, the kids left and, it was left with just us. And we just kind of figured, hey, that wasn't the best thing to do. Like, people are trying to be happy. People are trying to, you know, live the lives that God designed for us, like a peaceful life, Um, so I think, just even in just kind of knowing that, like, knowing it starts with us, everything starts with us. So we have to make sure that at the same time, while we're being all of these things for all of these different people,
Hmm.
that we are this
For
for
each
us.
other.
Exactly. Like, that has to take precedent. So, I mean, really just kind of a combination of all of that was, what kind of brought me to that. Okay, like, let's make sure. And then you don't want to let so much time go by. You've not checking in with the person, and you have all of this resentment towards them and they don't even know why.
Right.
Because we haven't been having those conversations, and now I've let X amount of years go by and I never said anything, and I'm constantly mad about this or you're constantly mad about that. Like, I didn't want any of that. Just let's make sure that we've been friends
Yeah.
for so long. And so I think that actually has helped. We've seen each other through so many phases of life.
Yep.
And I knew that I could talk to you. I knew that, you would approach me in love. I've always been comfortable, you know, having conversations with you. So just if it's something that we need, I mean, you're the only person who can fix what it is that I need in that sense.
Yeah.
So who better to,
To talk to them, right, each
than
other,
you?
right.
So just wanted to make sure that this is what's holding everything together. Like, let's make sure that we are nurturing that just as much as we are nurturing all of these other aspects of our life.
This, I mean, well said. And I'll say this as well. I think part of us, of you making sure that we always put us first, is also because of something we're going to get into later, as far as making sure that we're focusing on us and going out on dates and whatnot. Is because I know, look, you have to get out the house.
That too.
Mama needs to get out the house, and so she's if she there's not a date going on, the while she start getting a cabin fever real fast.
Little adventure.
I mean, I'm like we literally went out like 2 days ago.
Babe.
But no, but seriously, no, but no, in all honesty, I think, but because of that, I think you wanting to make sure that you go out and you experience different things,
That we
that
experience things together,
the
that
spontaneity of it
you
and
know
whatnot. I think that
love
helps
a
out
little
as well.
spontaneity.
And so, me as the husband, I have to figure out what works for my wife, because obviously, if my wife is happy, then that means that we're happy. If we're happy, the kids can feel the happiness. And if the kids can feel the happiness, they get the love from the mom. If the mom is able to take care of them, I'm able to take care of them. Everything works out. It's all a cycle. So everybody's winning
Everybody's
on
winning.
that. And I was saying,
And you too, babe. Like,
oh
making
yeah,
sure that you're taken care of.
no, I appreciate that.
It's, I know the saying goes, and I know I've said it before, what is it? Happy,
Happy wife, happy
thank
life.
you. Happy wife, happy life. See, I've almost put that out of my memory at this point. But that's right, I'm growing and growing. But happy house, I'm sorry, happy spouse, happy house.
Yes.
So making sure that everybody is balanced, that everybody's good is, I mean, to me, what
Yeah.
makes a happy home.
And yeah, exactly. And it's about the checking in that you said, checking in with each other, but then also don't not allowing outside forces to infiltrate your marriage.
Yeah.
And sometimes those outside forces, those outside enemies are people that you care about. By that, I mean children. Um, because children, you know, they don't mean it. But if you're not careful, the children can get in between your marriage. And I think I spoke. Remember, I was speaking with a couple, and they were saying how they were always about the kids, and then one day they really sat and thought about it. Said, you know what? There's gonna be a day where these little gremlins, they're gonna be good and grown and at our house, and won't be thinking about us not
I'm
one
telling
bit.
you. Right, right,
And
right.
and after that, we it's just gonna be us. So we have to put us first, and they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then as long as we're good, then we'll be able to maneuver this thing in life and in marriage, no matter what's going on with the
Mm-hmm.
kids. And I said, that's really true though. And so I would say, the things that I think that we've learned is the checking in. Checking is one thing. Seeing where we are just as people, because that allows me to know who you are. And that's general, not even just about having kids, but I think just,
Yeah.
just in general, checking so I know who you are, where you are mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. That way I know where you are, how to navigate that, how to adjust, how to adjust with you or for you or to you. Either way. So I think that that's important. But then also, like I said, having that quality time for each other is important as well. Where it's just one
Mhm.
on one, you and I time,
Mhm.
not just just the kids or whatever the case is,
Mhm.
but just you and I time, and just the date nights.
Yes.
The date nights are super important
Very,
in the Wellington
very
household.
important.
They're very important in our household.
Well,
Um,
date nights look different,
yeah.
like I don't want,
No, well, we have date nights all the time. Like I said,
right, right,
and
right,
sometimes
right.
the date nights are you and I, which we
Mhm.
make sure that we definitely have.
Mhm.
Sometimes the date nights are me, you, and the kids.
Yeah. Well,
So
definitely. So, but even in that, just with what I mean is with our time in the date nights, sometimes we literally ride around
oh yeah,
the neighborhoods and just look at lights. Like
yeah,
that's date night,
yeah, we do.
Like we've got a slice of pizza, like and
Mm-hmm.
sat, open up the back of
Yeah, the Jeep.
the Jeep and just sat in the Jeep, like in a parking lot. Like a
Yeah,
date can be
anything. It
anything
can be grand
that you
sometimes. It
want
can
it
be
to be,
chill.
right. Sometimes it will be over the
All
top,
right. Sometimes, hey, let's go
and
get the hotel room.
sometimes, right, let's do A, B, and C. And sometimes it may be like, let's go get some ice cream.
Yep.
Or let's just go sit on this bench, like, and watch the sunset.
Mm,
Whatever it is, it's just intentional time
yeah.
together.
Together. Yeah, and that's very true. And that's one thing I can definitely give Jackie credit for is that she's as long as we get a chance to get out and do something, if she wants to live it up and be luxurious, we'll be luxurious and go out and do something grand. We will put on our finest clothes and we'll go out,
Finery.
suit and tie it or whatever the case is, and then and we're good to go. Um, and we'll do some fine dining or whatever the case may be, or it could be simple as going to the movies, or just going to get some pizza,
Uh-huh.
and just riding around. As she said, looking at lights, and
Looking at lights. Y'all, let
yeah,
me tell y'all one time. It was probably, I was getting a little bit of cabin fever. And it was, I don't even know what time at night. It was late. It may have been like 11 because sometimes I will, fall asleep a
right.
little early and wake up energized, like, all right, babe. But first of all, he's up all night. So, he's just getting started about that time. But, anyways, this particular night, it's like clearly our children are asleep upstairs. But it was like we really wanted to get out. So, what did we do? We literally went in the driveway and
Oh
like didn't
yeah.
we literally like walked the driveway, like the outline, and
Mm-hmm.
played some music or something
Sat
in
out and just talked and
the
just
driveway, sat out and
wow, I
talked, and
forgot about
that was
it. It
everything.
was nice. Yeah,
Yeah, it really was. So it's like, hey, you know
it
what?
was great weather outside that night.
It was. So it's like that's date night. Like we're going to be intentional about whatever we're doing, when it comes to each other. So,
Right. And I will say this though, and that's especially for people, especially if you do not have babysitters.
yeah.
Find something that you can do around your
Yes.
house or something. Make the
Yes.
time, plan it, set up an environment for you to feel like you are able to get away or just have that moment.
Yes.
I think that that's important. Now I will say this though. Now we
Hmm.
are we're kind of an anomaly. We're an exception, not the rule. The fact that we have been very blessed with the fact that we live so close to her. We're not that far from her sister, and her
Yes.
sister, her and her sister, they all have kids around the same age.
Hmm.
So we both have two kids, and and they're all like within like a certain amount of months apart from
Uh-huh.
each other, for a lot, for majority of them, and having that help where hey, we need a date night. Can the kids come around the corner? Or hey, if they need a date night, can the
Yeah.
kids come around the corner?
Yeah.
And being able to trade off, I think has helped out tremendously because it allows us to get away when we do want to go out on an actual date. Or hey,
Yes.
we'll come back in the morning. Hey, we're gonna go get a go for a little quick trip, whatever case is. Go
Hmm.
get a room,
Hmm.
enjoy the night, and come
Hmm.
back home. In the
Hmm.
morning or whatever the case is. That's actually helped us out a great deal as well.
Yeah, that has been major, major, major in our marriage. And I would, definitely shout out to the village, my
Yeah.
sister Janine, like I said, even, down to us being able to go on date nights and her husband being able to go on date nights, um, to, hey, you know what, like mommy time, or Jacquelyn time.
Mm-hmm.
I need to run up and get my nails done,
Yep.
like literally around the corner. It has literally been a lifesaver,
Very
So we
much.
are incredibly, incredibly, incredibly blessed to really have such a village of people who care for us, and I definitely just have to shout out Nanny for even giving the suggestion,
That's
because
mother-in-law for
that
you.
is my mother, Jan, as I like to call her. Um, just about the suggestion of getting closer to my sister in terms of proximity, um because we were having babies around the same time. And so my sister's um son is 8 months older than our son.
Yep.
So they literally have grown up like brothers, since the beginning, because, it may be, hey, one night they're all over here and then another night they're all over there. Just, you know, allowing for that balance.
Yeah, allows the boys to get together and then
Yeah,
allows the girls to
to
get
get
together.
together, right. And so it's good to let the girls connect, let the boys connect, just have a whole little cousin mix mash up,
Right.
and
And
just
then we can get and do our thing.
right, exactly. And we can do our thing. So we appreciate you, Nanny, and just even giving that suggestion. It has definitely been a lifesaver at this point. So
Yeah, definitely. So, but finding ways to to make time to connect with your spouse. And I think, also just children needing to see that and
yeah,
understanding the limitations or the parameters or, the, what the guidelines are, hey, they mommy daddy time right now, or,
yeah,
uh, because like I said, kids will find a way to infiltrate that,
yeah,
mommy, I need this, daddy, I need this. And, they jump all over, our son, he's, you know, he loves us, and he's asking me a million and one questions, or he wants to spend time with me, or he wants to spend time with with his mom, and this, same thing for our daughter as well. And so, and they're so lovable, it's like, you just want to just, hold
yeah,
on to them forever. But, hey, we have to make time for each other, and it's necessary, because, we always want to make sure that we are able to tap in with each other and know exactly where we are in our lives, in our energy, and just where we are as a whole, as one unit.
yeah,
And I think that is sorely missed out from a lot of marriages,
mhm,
from that we have seen, where there's been some challenges, having that way to escape, that's really, I hate to use the word escape, but you know what I mean.
right.
um just really being able to,
Tap out,
right,
tap
to,
out, let go.
exactly. Look, we are mommy and daddy, but before it was all said and done, were husband and wife first.
Right,
We were
right.
individuals
Hmm.
first, and
Hmm.
that's what it is. So, the best it can be, it can be as one B, as far as on the parent aspect, the one, 1A for the husband and wife aspect, though, because once it gets backwards, then you start putting, the kids needs to come first, obviously. But when you are constantly putting yourself, on the back burner for the
Hmm.
kids, and
Hmm.
not taking care of self, it leads to, disorganization and chaos.
Yes.
And because, listen, like I said, the kids will be gone and they'll go about their lives, and then you're gonna have to figure out about yourself.
Hmm.
And so you have to be able to manage that piece right there, and say, hey, listen, this is mommy daddy time, we're gonna go out, we're gonna do this. So I think, always checking in, making time for date
Yeah.
nights for yourself and your
Hmm.
spouse.
In
Also,
the house or out the
yeah,
house,
in the house, out the
just
house, yeah.
that intentional time. I set this up. Like
Mm-hmm.
I did this. That may be, hey, putting the kids to sleep a little bit earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and oh, putting a blanket out on your living room floor,
Yep.
like get your little food, spread it out. Oh, I'm big
Yeah.
for all right, babe, he go pick up the food. When he
Uh-huh.
comes back, I have set a whole scene because
Oh,
it's,
if I see candles are on, I know
you already,
it's a whole vibe.
but yes, it just brings
And you know
great
what?
energy.
But I thought about this. Do you remember there was one time? What was it? We said we were gonna go. We said we were gonna go do a date night. And what did our son say? He was like, he's our dad.
Oh yeah. First, I'm pretty sure.
He looked at his sister, looked at me, looked at Jackie, and said, he's our father.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you, he definitely. We have to. All right, it's my 30 minutes. The sooner you give me my 30 minutes,
Yeah,
because the sooner you can ABC. Yeah, it's a battle.
yeah. And like I said, the kids
Brandon's
don't
a hot commodity around here.
maybe. I that just I just look at it like this. That just means that
That means that you're doing something
I
right.
must be doing something right
Yeah.
with the kids, and doing something right with you, where they
Yeah,
want to be around.
absolutely.
They want to be around us, and I think that's what it is, because they love us
Yeah, I
equally.
know.
They're just great kids. But yeah, it can be a little competitive sometimes here in the household,
Yeah.
between trying to have time with your spouse and the kids,
Yeah.
wanting to have time with you as well. So yeah, just understanding that. But I think, what though, even with all of that, I think it is so important that they see that, because then they know what to look forward to or what to expect in their own marriage. To say, I want to
Exactly.
have what mom and dad had. They made time for each other, because
Mhm,
there will
mhm.
come a day where they will understand, I want to spend time with the person I love.
And I feel
And
like Jackson actually already kind of understands that because, he, the little pieces of me, and he's like, when I get older, grown, I'm gonna set some candles for my wife. And I'm a, you know, set a little vibe.
that's a little
Yeah,
vibe. Oh,
set a little vibe.
oh man,
So
this
he's
this kid.
forward to it. It's like, hey, you know what? He's writing stuff down and making plans. So, what is this? Let me see. About
Mm.
15 years, ladies. 15 years. There will be a questionnaire. There will be several
Maybe
pieces to the process.
there's gonna be application process for that boy. I'll tell you that right
Application
now.
process, but I'm telling you, he is going to be an awesome,
Let me ask you this:
man.
do you ever at times feel guilty sometimes about setting those parameters?
Like, what do you mean?
You know, where it's you and I, and we're going out on this date night because mom and dad need to connect. We need to be able to let our hair down. We need to be able to enjoy ourselves. Did you were there ever times where you felt,
Of
because I
course,
think that's what
no.
parents deal with though, as parents.
It'll be a whole. Now, Jada Baby will be like, all right, to the little
Oh
P.
yeah, no, our daughter, she cool with this. She's
She's
like,
like, where's my jacket?
I holla.
Where are my shoes? I'm going to see. What? Okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm
Jackson,
hanging out with my cousins.
right. Jackson definitely is like, okay.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you feel guilty in some senses, so you kind of, talk some things through, like, okay, this is what's going on and this is when we'll be back,
Hmm.
um and cut a deal every now and then, get you some ice cream tomorrow, but yeah, you definitely go through that. You feel guilty because it's your children, but you also, when they kind of say things back to you, or like, sometimes Jackson will be like, y'all go ahead and have your little date thing.
He
He's
has
so
started to do
fun.
that now. Yeah.
It's just like, okay, well, y'all just, go have your little time. And it's like he
Might be a little time.
understands it.
You'll be back.
He understands that, like, it's important. And I think
Yes.
he like, through it all, he understands, like, hey, like what my mommy and daddy have. And, I think he really, he's learning. So
Yeah.
in the guilt at the same time, it's like as long as it's balanced, as long as everybody is feeling loved,
Mm-hmm.
then that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take some vacations for ourselves, but we're also going to make sure that our children are taking these vacations as
Yeah,
well.
I think, and that's
You
something
know,
that we're where we have ma- really, especially as of lately, have tried our best to really do is make sure that the kids understand that they are still included in our lives.
yeah,
Well, we've always done it, but now it's just even more more prevalent now because when we go on our date nights, okay, now we want to make sure that we have date nights with the kids as well, and in addition to
yes, yes,
because we want to
yes,
make sure that they understand that we recognize them, that we love them, but then also I just feel it's important to do it with the kids because they need to be able to see what it's like when you go out on a date with your significant
mm-hmm,
other, how
mm-hmm,
how a husband should treat his wife,
yeah,
opening up doors,
yeah,
doing certain things, making sure that everybody's good, protected, safe. But then also, how do you interact with other people? Learning social graces, social
mm-hmm,
skills outside of the household, how to deal
yeah,
with different people, seeing other people, seeing different things.
yeah,
So I think that that's important. But then, like I said, so doing that, I think has, helped us to understand how to incorporate the kids as well as still having our time, but
yeah,
being adding on to uh, having them along with it instead of taking away. Because sometimes people feel like, well, if I can't do this and I can't do that, and then I have to take
right,
away something,
right,
it's
and
like,
I'm not
no,
gonna do anything.
no, just add it. Be
Mm-hmm,
intentional. Like I said, it doesn't have to be anything overly expensive. It could be something real simple. Even if it's,
exactly.
the date night with the kids, make it real simple. They just want to be out there and see,
Make it creative. Like literally, me and Jada were watching Hocus Pocus 2 last night,
Yeah.
and it's hey, the guys were at baseball practice, so I'm gonna pop some popcorn, get our little containers, we snuggle up in the bed, like those are the things, and sweet little baby, give you a little kiss, and you're the best, and all of that, but just
They just want to feel your
they
presence.
they want to feel your presence and just know. So it's like, hey, you know what? We're not going anywhere, but hey, let's just go ahead and kind of make this a real movie night for us.
Yeah, I thought that was nice though. But
Yeah, but just anything just with being intentional. Like we're gonna do the or we do the four of us
mhm.
dates, but as since my son is getting older, him showing, I'm sorry, his dad showing him, what it is to, go on a date and all of those things that he just talked about. But also, we're going to be doing some mommy son dates, where it's
Right.
the two of us and, conversing and, just that whole aspect. And the same thing for
For our daughter.
for our daughter.
Um, I was, but then also I think it's great to have that part. As far as date nights with the spouse,
Hmm.
it's great to have date nights with the spouse and the children, make sure that the children feel involved.
Yeah.
But then also, I think having that moment for yourself, I think is critical as well. Because if you can't be a good, if you can't be a good parent if the marriage it's hard for the children to feel that everything's good for them if they see that there's something wrong with mommy and daddy because they don't connect.
Right.
But then at the same time
Right.
though, as an individual, if you haven't been able to connect with yourself or to get yourself together, then it can be challenging for you to do that for yourself as a spouse, or to service your spouse and to
Mhm.
service your children.
Right.
And so I think one of the best things that Jackie did for me, she earlier in the years, she gave me like she gave me a day to myself, like literally a day to myself, and I was like, I always used to tell her, listen, if you just give me 2 to 3 days, if you give me a day, I will be the best. I could be the best version of myself for you and the kids, and that I feel was really important for me because it allowed me to really just decompress because um, I cannot speak for women. I cannot speak for mothers. And I can't speak for all fathers. I can only speak for myself. I feel as a husband and as a father, I'm always on. I'm always in ready mode
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to answer whatever questions or requests that you have, as a wife, to answer any questions that my children have, as as them being kids. And they are, it's I'm always ready, being prepared for whatever, and it's hard for me to let myself just be totally relaxed. I am myself when I'm around you all. I am, but at the same time though, I always have to be on.
Mhm.
And so when you allow me to actually just have that time for myself, I was able to just be with my own thoughts. I didn't have kids asking me 1,000 questions, and that right there within itself was everything. Because oh my gosh, um,
It's
love you, I promise. Love you, mean it. But it can be a lot. It can be very taxing.
Mhm.
Like I said, it's a beautiful journey, but it is still a journey, and it can have just a lot of things that come with it. And so, having that time to actually just sit and just be by myself was the best thing ever. And sometimes we do that throughout the day because there are times where in the
Mhm.
morning we're getting the kids ready for school, and then sometimes Jackie might just get the kids ready, and she'll let me sleep in a little bit, and then until it's time for me, for them to get dropped off, and then it's done. Or sometimes when Jackie gets home, listen, I know she when she's tired, she gets home, whatever the case is, and if I and I'm home, when I get in, I know, hey, listen, go upstairs, relax. I'll make sure the kids are good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she gets that moment because Jackie be tired
Sleepy and sleepy
since
forever.
1997, 1998, whatever. Yeah,
I get it from my daddy.
I've yeah, you might. It don't take much from to fall asleep either,
I'm
right?
telling you.
But no, she's been like that since forever. I'll be on the phone with her and I'll be telling her about something I saw on the TV or whatever the case is, and she'll be like,
Listen,
like
yeah.
Jackie. I mean, I used to get offended because I was like, I know I'm not boring, but but then I realized that that's just you.
Sleepy. I
Yeah, you're sleepy. Yeah,
sleepy. And my husband is really good about like just giving me a moment or a break. Like I really couldn't think of or imagine a better partner as it relates to that. Like and just kind of knowing what it is that I need. And while we're giving appreciation. I know earlier we talked about that this was the anniversary of the day that we this past weekend, the day we became parents. And I just appreciate my husband being so active in the process because I don't know about y'all, but around event time, a kid's birthday, it literally is 1,000 things to do.
oh
A
yeah.
thousand
She's on
things.
go mode.
It's just you got to get it done. You got to get it done because this is your baby's birthday,
Yep.
and everything like down to the smallest details. It all needs to get done. And my husband was a just very big part of that process. One day we were just out running errands and that was our day, just
Yeah.
making it happen for this little boy, so I really appreciate you being part of the process and not feeling like that was all on me. This man was standing on the island, taping individual balloons to the ceilings for the effect when, Jackson came down the next day. I really appreciate that. So I didn't want to let the show end without letting you know how much I appreciate because it is the simple things. It's just the hey, you know what, we're in this together. This isn't, all right, mommy, pull this off, like
Yeah.
your kid's birthday is coming. It's like, okay, so what do we need to do?
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that, babe. You're the ultimate teammate.
Oh man, thank you. She likes me. She really likes me. It works out though, but listen, I like I said, I wear the title of dad proudly. I wear the title of husband proudly, and that's what I'm here to do, man. Is to help build this generation up and for them to be the best that they can possibly be, and and to just do that, and I said, it's give and take. So when I need a break, you make sure to take care of me on that. And when
Absolutely.
you need a break, I try to make sure that I can do that as well. So if you gotta run errands, hey, the kids are. I'm okay with keeping my kids.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's real out here in these
I'm okay with keeping my
streets.
kids.
That's real.
So I've been, try to be hands on with the kids from day one, and that's what I really, I'm happy of. But yeah, we, in marriages, what we have learned to maintain a healthy relationship with your spouse is to make time for yourself, especially when you have kids. Is to
Mhm.
make the time, set the standard for a day and a time where you are going to have one-on-one time with your spouse.
Mhm.
Make that time. Then make time to make sure that you have that time with your children as well. So scheduling is really important. I think
Yeah.
scheduling,
Yeah.
tap in, check in, tap in with your spouse and see where they're at. Or use that time in between when you're doing your date nights. And like I said, just finding that balance and giving that your spouse that individual time to kind of have the time for themselves as well. I think once you combine all three of those things, it makes it easier when you're dealing with kids, because like I said, it's not an easy job. I commend all the mothers out there, all the fathers out there who are doing it, with their spouse, and who are doing it without their spouse.
Mhm.
There are so many
Yeah.
people out there, and so we don't take it for granted the fact that we have that support system with each other
Yeah.
on that though. So like I said, we feel like those things are really critical, and really finding that balance
Yeah.
that people need to have in their
Balance.
marriages. So that's really what it is. But listen, I think this is a great way to kind of wrap up this podcast here. Again, make sure that you guys are subscribing to our YouTube channel.
Subscribe.
Um,
Subscribe.
weirdo. No, but no. So yeah, subscribe to our YouTube channel, a Love Like That podcast. Make sure that you are subscribed to us either on iTunes or on Spotify or Google Podcasts. Follow us online on at Facebook at a Love Like That LLC, or if you're on Instagram at a Love Like That underscore. Like I said, make sure to go and click on the links on the bios and sign up for our workshops, our retreats, and sign up for our coaching programs. We have several different ones that we are providing. We are just so thankful that you guys have chosen to check out our show today. And I don't know what else there's to say. I think this is really how we can just kind of wrap this up. So I'm Brandon.
I'm Jacqueline.
Thank you guys for checking out Love Like That podcast. Take care. Peace.
Bye.